Hey, y'all, I'm Shane Sams, host of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. Super excited to be back with you again today as I help a real member of the Flipped Lifestyle community on a live one-on-one coaching call. We're going to overcome fears, overcome obstacles, and we're going to work together to figure out how to take this amazing member's business to the next level. And we're going to let you hang out with us, listen into the conversation so you can learn and you can take your business and dream to the next level as well. And I am excited because today's guest is a success story. A real life success story from the Flipped Lifestyle community. My guest today is Jennifer Trinidad from Honolulu, Hawaii. She's been a member of the Flipped Lifestyle community for almost a year now, and she has been working really, really hard inside the community, going through the Flipped Lifestyle blueprint to start, build, and grow a membership site of her own. Jennifer has an amazing story. Her and her husband paid off $90,000 in debt. They used budgeting to get out of debt, and now through her new website, budgetdivas.com, Jennifer is helping other people get out of debt and live a higher quality of life by creating and sticking to an awesome budget. Now, when I first met Jennifer, she was everywhere. She was scattered. She didn't even know what questions to ask. She was trying to get everything about online business all at once, synthesize it, and somehow turn it into a business. But Jennifer and I had a talk, and I said, Jennifer, calm down. Let's buy a domain, and then we'll take the next step. Let's just go through the Flip Lifestyle blueprint one video at a time. And let's build this membership site and see what comes out the other end. Well, I'm excited to say that she did just that. She just launched her Budget Divas membership. And you're going to hear the story today of how she got her first member right out of the gate. It's an awesome story. It makes me cry every time I hear it. And I know it's going to inspire you to pursue your online dream as well. Once we talk about Jennifer's launch, we're also going to talk about how she's going to grow her membership going forward, how she's going to build an amazing audience. And I give her some tips on growing her email list. You know I love a good success story here on the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. I know you're going to be inspired too. Thank you so much again for listening to the podcast. We appreciate you so much. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. We're a real family that figured out how to make our entire living online. And now we help other families do the same. Are you ready to flip your life? All right, let's get started.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. Great to be back with you again today. Super excited to not only help a real Flipped Lifestyle community member take their business to the next level, but we are going to be celebrating a successful launch of a Flipped Lifestyle community member. My guest today is Jennifer Trinidad. What's up, Jennifer?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on today. I'm so excited.
The budget diva of budgetdivas.com is in the house today.
Yay!
This brand that is now a real thing and in the world. Jennifer, I am excited to say, just launched recently her membership. And the first day, the first webinar, she got her first member. And it was an emotional, crazy thing because we have been on a ride. We've been on a journey in the community with Jennifer for a while now. So before we get into that, we'll come back to that in just a second. We'll talk about the launch itself. And but tell everybody a little bit about you, where you're from, and what you do offline and what you're doing online, Jennifer.
Sure. So I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii. I live with my husband and my son. And my journey kind of starts back in 2016 when I was working for a staffing agency. I was a staffing manager. And if you know about the staffing world, it's 24/7. I mean, you could wake up in the morning and have 5 fires going on because nobody showed up to work.
Right.
So it was super stressful. And I didn't see my family. You know, I didn't see my son. He was entering high school at the time. I didn't see my husband. I would come home angry, upset, just super stressed out. And so I thought there's got to be a better way. So at the end of 2016 in September, my old job called me back and said, do you want to come back? There's an opening. So I went back, but I knew it would be a pay cut because I would no longer be getting commissions. Plus, I was on this conveyor belt track to become like the VP of the company and kind of own the company while the owner does other things. So I kind of that was kind of when I started having my I've had it moment. And if you've heard Dave Ramsey say that,
like the money is not enough to deal with this nonsense at this point, right?
Yes, exactly. So I've had a moment was, okay, I'm in this job and if I want to get anywhere, I'm going to have to be on this conveyor belt again, going to be a manager, a VP, and then retire. That's not a great life for me.
Right.
I didn't want all those responsibilities.
Oh, by the way, you wouldn't see your children during that entire time as well. Did they mention
Yeah,
that
because I
part?
would be
You know?
married to the job. Right,
That's right. That's right.
exactly. Then, I we started getting out of debt. And in October 2016, I said, okay, fine. I've had it already. I'm going to use all of the money that I have from our incomes to pay off debt. And so over the course of 4 years, we paid off 90,000.
God,
But
that's crazy, Jennifer. So, like, did you decide to do this? Like, I'm at this company. We're going to take a pay cut, but we're not going to be in this situation again. So the first thing you did was get out of debt, because once you get out of debt, you can pick where you work and you didn't have to worry about it. So the choice to get out of debt, was that because of the pay cut or just because of the I'm sick of it? We're changing our life. Like, was it kind of a combination of the thing? Why did you make that call?
I initially took the staffing manager job because we were in so much debt. And I
Oh, I
wasn't
see.
able to make a higher salary at the corporate job. You get your 3 to 4% raise per year. But I had just had it. It wasn't a good fit for me. And you've been working with me for a while. And I'm like,
I know, right?
freaking out all the time.
Right, right. I can't
So
imagine you working a 12-hour shift and coming home after some of our mastermind Q&As. Like, like if you came into those after one of those shifts, it'd have been like, okay, Jennifer, we're going to call you back tomorrow for that Q&A because it was a little crazy in here. So
right.
how did you get at? Okay, this is important because I'm going to fast forward and rewind. So now you are helping other people get out of debt through Budget Divas, which is amazing. So, like, how did you do this? Like, how did you get out of debt? Did you guys just go like mad frugal, Dave Ramsey, tighten the belt, like, or did you just have a nice plan that you kind of set in motion and kind of put a target date on getting out of debt? And like, how did that work?
So the amazing part is when you think about it with our incomes, 90,000 in 4 years, not a big number.
Yeah.
But 41,000 of that was paid off in 2019. In one
Wow.
year, we paid off 41,000. And the reason was because we had finally stuck to a budget. We were living on the numbers we had put on paper, and we had increased our income with our side incomes.
That's amazing.
So
So you basically said, look, there's two of us. We can put everything, but did you put like all your one salary on the debt until it was paid off kind of deal? Or did you just say, this is how much we need to pay a month to be out of debt by 2019? Let's go. Like, what you just got on your budget and all the extra money went straight into the debt at that point, correct?
okay, so if you're familiar with Hawaii, it's really, really expensive to
I
live
know.
here.
That's what I'm trying to get to here. You're in Honolulu. You're not in Southeast Kentucky where everything costs $1, right? So I'm like, how did you do this in Hawaii, right?
Yeah, so most people live on two incomes just to survive. So
Mm.
it was really our side hustles and anything that we could pull out of our day jobs that went to the debt.
All right. What was your side hustles? What did you do to get out of debt?
So I was a mystery shopper, plus I was an editor for that mystery shopping company. And then my husband has a t-shirt business. So he would sell, t-shirts at craft fairs and little pop-up places. And he would print shirts for other people as well.
So you found these flexible side hustles that would allow you to make any extra money you could, but at the same time, you can hang out and make t-shirts together. You can, I guess, go mystery shopping and you're in there walking around and they're shopping too, or something like that, right?
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun because these mystery shop companies would pay us to go eat out at a nice fine dining restaurant. I love shopping, so they would pay me to shop and buy their merchandise.
And so were you
It
just
was
like
perfect.
So were you being sent in like as customer research kind of like or like just the experience, or like were you spying on the people that work there? Like what is a mystery shopper? I do not understand this. Like, what is going
Yeah.
on?
So basically, you're just doing market research for the company.
Oh, I see. Oh, I got it. So you're going in and looking like Walmart will send you into Target or something like that, or whatever, like to go back and forth just to get the information. and see like what's the sales, how's the experience, how can we do better, how can they do
Yes.
better. So it's kind of like a focus group of one. Basically, they're just trying to. It's like someone gives you Coke, and you're like drinking the Coke, and you're like, I don't like the citrus Coke, but you're just doing it for the whole store at that point.
Yes.
That is
Exactly.
that is amazing. I don't even understand how you heard about something like that. Anyway, all right. So you do all these side hustles, you get on a budget, and that's the most important thing because I know it's hard to stick to a budget. Like even now, like Joss and I hate budget day, and we don't want to talk about budget day. And budget day is annoying, and like it's like all these things, but we all also know it's like eating your broccoli. It's good for you. You got to do it. You got to like get on the budget. So like as you come in and pay off the debt, 2019 you're out of debt. 2020 madness happens. Thank God you got out of debt right before the global pandemic, and you don't have to worry about any debt during the global pandemic. What makes you start going down this online business rabbit hole? Like, how did you get interested in, hey, maybe I could start an online business, a website, a membership?
Yeah. So in 2019, after we had paid off all that debt, we also cash flowed a trip to Disneyland. So that was amazing as well before everything went down. And then, so we were on this path like 2020 is going to be great. We know how to
It's our
make all
year.
this money. It's our year to shine. Then March 2020 happens, right? And our side hustles just evaporated into
Oh
thin
my
air
gosh,
overnight.
that's crazy because like you can't go mystery shopping when the stores are closed. And oh man, I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
I
my
didn't know that.
husband couldn't sell any of his shirts because all of the stores were closed as well.
Oh,
So
jeez,
fast
man.
forward to April 2020. I was listening to His and Her Money, huge fan. And I hear
Shout out
this.
to Talent and Ty McNeely, baby. We got the McNeely fam, the shout out, His and Her Money. Check them
Yes.
out. They're amazing.
They're amazing. And then I hear this couple with these cute Kentucky accents saying, this is how I got into online business, making our full-time income from home. We quit our jobs after 13 months. And I'm like, what? So I immediately signed up right away. You guys had a great offer at that time. And went on to Kajabi, started a website, started, one idea, didn't work, started a second idea, didn't work. Sure. And then I finally joined your mastermind in December 2020. And I was like, Shane, here's my idea. Here's what I want to do. And you're like, no, you're not doing that. This is what you're doing, Jen.
That's usually how the first call with me goes. I'm just saying, like, nope. I've seen that a couple times. That one's going down the rabbit hole you don't want to go down. That's when there's a fire at the bottom of that rabbit hole. What was the idea? I can't remember. Did we change the whole idea, or did we just take it in a different direction?
We just took it in a different direction.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that God has been telling me this since I started in April 2020, like, this is what you're going to do. And I'm like, no, this is not what I'm going to do. I don't want to do that. I don't want to teach people how to get out of debt. And then you come in and say, no, this is what you're doing.
Yes. Again, I see that. So, okay. So, all right, now we're getting to the fun stuff here. So this conversation happens in December. And I remember thinking to myself, and I probably said this to you. It's hard to say. I'm pretty sure I said this to you. Like, we were talking about like Dave Ramsey and like other people teach people how to do budgets and all those things. And I was like, yeah, but if I'm a mom and, or I'm a wife and I'm working and I'm doing these things, like, I'm not sure I want a bald, middle-aged, angry man from Nashville to tell me how to live my life. Like, I just don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's like Dave's. I'm not saying anything about Dave. Dave's got awesome stuff. I mean, we're Dave Ramsey people back from the way back before we started this online business stuff. And it's just, you don't relate to him, I might relate to him because I'm a 43-year-old dude with gray hair and he's speaking my language a little bit now. Get off my lawn, kids. But I'm just saying, they're not like, but someone who looks like you, feels like you, experiences life like you, they want to learn from someone like you. And that was kind of the gist when I heard what you were doing. Like, because I think your fear was you couldn't, like, maybe people wouldn't give you the authority that other people who teach budgets give, or I'm not exactly sure what the resistance was. What was that into this calling of teaching other divas how to, we'll talk about the domain name in a minute, but where was that fear coming from? Why did you resist that so much?
Yeah. So my fear was that I didn't want to be like the Dave Ramsey duplicate. I didn't want to say, you can only live on rice and beans until you get out of debt, and you can't see a restaurant unless you're working there. And I was like, that's so strict. And I know he gives advice on you need to have balance, but you know me, Shane, I am a shopaholic. I love to look for great
Right.
deals. So that's what I did with my budget. I was like, how can I make my budget fit so I can also have fun while paying off all this debt?
Yeah, it's like a combination of like a Dave Ramsey and a budget and a like you're doing the budget, but you're also underneath it trying to find like ways to stretch the budget like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like to really be able to like find deal. It's almost like the couponing world meets the budget world meets the whatever world, and then if you can add income on top of it, that's even better. You know?
Yes.
Yes, and you're really speaking like the mom and like married language when you say that, because it's one thing when you're like 25 and you're trying to get out of your debt and you're starving yourself to death and eating ramen noodles. But when you got kids and you got a spouse and there's things going on, like life doesn't stop just for your budget, you know, and you got to like figure these things out. You got to figure it out. So let's talk about the domain name, because I don't remember exactly how this came about. We were talking about the business. And one, let me stress to this. I'm gonna pick on you a little bit here, Jennifer. When I say that Jennifer was all over the map when she came into the community and came into the Roundtable Mastermind program, that's a real big map. It's like the big map with all the continents on it. Like that's the map that she was all over. And I'm picking on you, but it's like so many people are like this in the beginning. They've got the stirrings of an idea. They know they want online business, and you want to do all the things, like everything all at once. Like you were asking me about sales funnels and courses, and I'm like, Jennifer, you don't even know the name of your business yet.
Yeah,
So
you're like, stop.
slow down, back up the truck. Right. So then we start talking about the name, and we're talking about budgeting and stuff. So did you come up? How did we brainstorm this? Like what happened? I don't remember.
You messaged me on Voxer and you said, Jocelyn and I have a great name for you. How do you feel about budgetdivas.com? And I said, that's great. And within 1 minute, I purchased the domain name online and we were in business.
That's amazing. Like, because I remember there was a conversation before where I know we were talking about not less the name, but we were just talking about the vibe and like what vibe you wanted in your business. Cause that's important. You really need to decide. Like my vibe is country. I mean, it's just going to be laid back, sitting on the porch. I'm on my other show. I literally say, grab a jar of sweet tea and listen in, you know, whatever. That's the vibe. That's just the vibe that we've chosen. Like your vibe was very like female empowerment, mom, spouse, like parent, like life, like real life stuff. But it had this female bend to it, and it was about the budget. And I looked that up. I don't know what we were just, Jocelyn and I get obsessed with people's like domains and businesses. Like, so this is like our date night. We're just sitting there like, what would Jennifer's domain name be? And we're looking on Namecheap and stuff. We're just total nerds when it comes to this stuff. But like, I remember when I typed in Budget Divas, I do remember it like, I can't believe that's available. Like I could not believe that domain was not taken. And you jumped
It's an awesome name.
It just captures your brand. All right. Anyway. All right. Now this was not the play. This is not the place, guys, where the fairy tale ending comes, because this was just the first of many questions we had to answer in Jennifer's 6-month journey to building out Budget Divas. All right. So we get the domain name. Tell me about this, should I say the struggle for the next 5 months or so in launching. Like you felt like you were totally overwhelmed all the time. That's
an understatement.
Right. I know. It's like, is that how you felt? Like, tell me about the journey after that now. So you get the domain, start working with Kajabi. Like, what was so overwhelming, and what were some of the fears and mindset things that kept creeping in over the next like few months?
I think because I'm a YouTube junkie, I was hearing everybody's opinion. You should do this first. You should do this. You should do this. And then when I look back, I think it was maybe in February or March, I was like, oh, that's why Shane said, follow the blueprint. Right. Make your product first, and then everything else will fall into place.
So you did. And all it was you sat in front of a video and recorded your lessons. That's all you did. Nothing fancy. Just got it done, correct?
Yep. Got it done, launched it as a podcast, put it in Kajabi, and then I was done.
It's
And then
amazing.
from there, I could just build upon everything else. The other fear, and I would say struggle, is that when I started talking about debt, people were like, whoa, 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 I don't want to talk about my money. But when I started talking about budgets, like, do you have a budget? Do you know how a budget gives you freedom so that you can spend more money on what you want? Then it kind of opened the conversation to an open dialogue of, okay, what do you mean by that?
That's an interesting point, because I think that what you said there flows from what we talk about with getting the product done first. Because when you get your product done, like, you may know the result. Like, the doctor knows the result. The doctor knows the medicine. The doctor knows what to prescribe, right? But when you know the result, you can start speaking the language of your patients, basically. And when you're actually in the market trying things, like the first few people you ask, hey, you want to talk about debt? No. Oh, well, I don't want to talk about that. Well, okay, I got to try something different. That got a bad response. But my course is all about debt. Well, wait a minute. My course is really about budgets. Hey, do you want to talk about budgets? What's a budget? Will you show me how to do a budget? I'd love to have a budget. I don't have a budget, right? The doing of the thing, the creation of the thing, the getting the thing from your head through your lips and your fingertips into the real world, like, and making something allows you to try things, allows you to have the conversations that lead to someone's ears perking up and the eyebrows raise, And so many people don't get to that point. And going back to what you said about too many voices, I mean, sure, I'm going to give myself a shameless plug. Don't listen to anybody but me. Everybody go and only listen to me in the Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, I don't care.
You guys are amazing.
You don't have to brag on me. I'm here to brag on you. Stop bragging on me. But the amazing thing is, when you pick one path, I think that's another thing too. Like, when you have clarity, like, it's like a diet. Does keto work? Yeah. Does vegan work? Yeah. Does paleo work? Does OMAD work? Does intermittent fasting? They all work. It's just picking a path and sticking to it is usually the fastest way to get to success. So, and that's what you did. And I think investing in the program, like, I'm glad you joined where we did, because we got some ballers in that group during that time too, that were like a good inspiration for you to, like, follow and just shake their head, like, just keep going. Because sometimes it's hard when things aren't happening, like, fast, right?
Yeah, super hard.
So tell me about the launch. Let's go ahead to the launch now, because this was very exciting. I literally cried. Tears in my eyes, like, because, like, I mean, every week we work together, like, in the community, and seeing you even in the forums and other things. Like, I could see you building it, and I could see you like, okay, I got the courses done. Whew, that's done. All right, I got a blog post done. Whew, got that done. All right, I recorded a podcast. I actually have a podcast art. I've got this. I've got that. And then all of a sudden it's building to where you schedule the webinar. Like, you're getting ready to have this, like, webinar and launch the thing. And I was as nervous as you were. I was so nervous for you. I was like, okay, she's got a small audience, but she's going to put it out there. She's got a few people listening. She's going to try it out. So tell me about the launch, like, why you decided to use a webinar, and then how nobody bought the webinar. And then tell me about the first sale, because this is one of the best stories, like, ever for somebody.
Well, I was inspired by Kareem's journey. That podcast where she said she was making $17,000 a month, and how she did that was she did a weekly webinar. And I resonated with her story because she said she didn't know what SEO was. She didn't know what a funnel was. And I was like, I'm in the same boat. I don't know what any of these things are. I must have been living under a rock because I didn't know, anything about online business. And so then I started just putting my webinar together, and in the mastermind, we started working on it. And he said, yes, Jennifer, you're doing this. You're doing a webinar every 2 weeks, and then every week to get people on your email list. And the night before, I'm a huge procrastinator, and I work under like 2 to 3 hours of pressure with lots and lots of coffee. So the night before, I was just up all night, putting all the slides together, watching, your slide deck webinar. And then 9:00 in the morning on Sunday, I did the webinar, and I don't know where I got the words, because I clearly had it on paper, but everything that I said must have come from God's mouth, because it didn't come from my mouth. And so after the webinar, I gave this great offer. And I said, okay, everyone, I'm going to send you the link. I'm going to send you the webinar show notes and the replay, and look forward to seeing you in the community. Logged off. Nobody bought. Silence.
That's the worst feeling. That's the worst feeling ever. It's like when you did a good job, you had people in the room, and you're like, wait, what? Nobody? Nothing? Like, I've totally been there. And also, I'm with you. I'm literally changing slides 5 minutes before any webinar that I do. It never fails. I don't care how many times I do it. So I think that's just how some of us operate, right? Okay. So you go to bed and you're like, well, back to the drawing board, like nothing happened, right?
Yeah. So
well, no, you don't go to bed. This is 9 a.m.
This is 9 a.m.
because we're over on your time. I got you.
And I had people in the chat saying, this is great, asking questions, asking me for more advice. And then I told my husband, okay, I am dead tired. Let's go get something to eat. So we go in the car and I take a nap on the way to the destination. He goes to Costco to stop for gas. And I said, okay, I don't want to check my emails because there's probably not going to be anything there. Check my emails anyway. And all of a sudden, I scream, ah! Pumping gas, thinking, what is going on? And I said, somebody just signed up for my membership.
Oh my God.
And I started crying. And then that's when I texted you and Angela on Boxer saying, I got my first member.
I'm telling you, like, man, I looked at it. And I just like, sometimes I get like really like it's just really overwhelming because it's people. There's going to be cynics out there. Oh, you got your first sale, one sale, whatever. But like, you don't understand people. Like, if you find one out of 7 billion, there are thousands more like that person out there. They just are, and they're connected to the internet. And if you can find one, you can find 101. You can find 1,000. And like, we know that when people do find that one offer that converts and they figure out who's in the membership, they can go find more of those people. And I remember I saw it, and I just like, we've got these bar stools like in our kitchen. Not our kitchen, like it's all open concept, everything's one room,
yes.
Right, or whatever. We have a bar, like bar stools that go around this bar from the living room into the kitchen, and I just kind of plopped down, and I just went, wow. And Jocelyn was like, what happened? Because she thought someone died or something. I don't know what she thought, because I was like Jennifer Trinidad just got her first member. And it was so like, I got to see it so close and personal, the 6 months of going from I have no clue what the internet is, right, to literally like making your first sale of a recurring revenue member, right? Doing it the right way, like building the product, building the community, doing a webinar. And it was really overwhelming for us too, man. And what'd your husband do though? I don't think you told me this yet. Like, I know he was excited, but you were crying. So what's his reaction at this point? Like, his wife crying.
Yeah. My husband has always been my biggest supporter. So he was just like, see, I told you it was going to work.
That's a good man right there. That's a man that knows how to do it right there, baby. Baby, all the confidence in the world. I had it in you.
I'm the freak out person, as you know. Right, he is the calm one. He's like, nobody's going to die. It's going to be okay. Don't worry.
Did you call and tell anybody else? Like, did you like, is there anybody like, or were you all just like on cloud? Did you tell your kids or your child? Did you tell them? How old are they? I can't remember how old they are.
I did. I have one. He's 19. So he's just like, wow.
That's all he said. Just, cool.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's a great 19-year-old response. That's an amazing.
But the cool part is that now that I have 2 members, people are starting to pay attention.
Yes.
They're like, wait, what are you doing? It's not just a hobby anymore. It's not just a blog.
That's amazing.
And it's so interesting because I started out with this business just being, I want to help people get out of debt. I want to help people with their finances. You don't even have to be in debt to be part of Budget Divas. If you are making 6 figures, but you're not living on a budget, you don't know where your money is going.
Oh gosh, that's gold. You need to put that on the front page of your website. That is really true. Like, because I when we first started making, like when we made our first money, see, it was weird. Like when we quit our job, we had a lot of cash reserves for the first time in our life, right? Because we were making money on the internet. And we lived Dave Ramsey and budgets and things like that. But I don't think we even knew how to really budget correctly because we had to you had to not live in your raises. You had to not live in the new money. Like you had to figure out like the budget is the budget, even if you make 1,000 more. Right. And like that was where the concept of that came from. So I think the first couple of years we would, go get $1,000 more dollars. We'd spend $1,000 more dollars and like the budget kept ballooning. And it wasn't this like, oh no, let's have a disciplined approach. Let's save some of it. Really not until I discovered Profit First did I really like figure out like truly how to budget when your income starts increasing. You know what I'm saying? So for you to say that out loud, like that's amazing. Like, I mean, I bet there's a lot of people thinking that right now, like I make tons of money and they don't have a budget. And at the end of the month, they're probably just as stressed as someone who makes no money and doesn't have a budget because it's all gone when you get there, basically.
Yeah. And this was actually a day before I did my webinar where we were at a friend's beach house and we were just talking about the things that we were going on in our lives. And one person specifically said, right now I'm struggling because we're not in debt, we're out of debt, we just purchased our first house, but I'm so used to spending every penny that I bring in that I don't know where my money's going. Ding, ding, ding,
Ding, ding,
ding.
ding. Well, you just happen to be sitting next to the Budget Diva. I'm just saying, like the Queen Budget Diva of Budget Divas. So get in the membership, right? Yeah, yeah. I love this angle. I don't know if I've ever truly heard anyone go at it from that angle, where it's just like it's all about it's the budget to give you a better quality of life. Like that's really what Budget Divas is all about.
Yes.
Like like whether you're $100,000 earner or you're a $10,000 earner trying to get out of debt, whatever. The budget gives you a better quality of life, while you're in it. And like, that's an extremely good angle. Well, we're going to talk about business too, guys, because this ain't done. We're just getting started over here. But man, I'm so proud of you. Like it's just so awesome to see where you came from in such a quick journey too. Like 6 months from the time you went all in to getting your first members. Really good. That's amazing. Like, we don't sugarcoat anything, guys. It takes 6 months to a year to probably get everything launched. It takes a year to 18 months to really get everything stable. Like this is not get rich quick. It's get rich forever. Right. And I love
freedom.
Yes. It's all about the freedom. And I think you're going to build something that's going to be absolutely shocking in the next couple of years because it's just such a cool concept and you're the right person to do it. And you've proven it twice in the last couple of weeks that people do want this. And now the universe is just bringing you people at dinner parties that could be in your membership and your podcast. Okay. So now let's talk about like right after launch. So now you've got a couple members. The podcast is starting to consistently roll out. We got the basics of the course. We're going to start building on that. That's fine. You can add to it, Tell me about now, like what's next? Like where are you struggling? What's overwhelming? What's a little confusing? How are the members going? Have they, because sometimes members they hide once they join. Have they talked to you? Like, tell us what it's like immediately after launch and getting your first members.
It is a little quiet with the members. I'm meeting with them twice a month on one-on-one coaching calls. So during the coaching call, we have a great call. But throughout the week, it is quiet. I'm checking in with them. I think it might be really new for them, like the concept of budgeting. So
and online communication probably too, like online community. That might be new to them as well.
Well, they're early career individuals. So, they grew up in the millennial internet age.
Yeah. So they should be better connected than they're letting themselves on to be.
Whatever they want, I'm just filming it in Loom. And it's been great because I can just send them quick 5-minute videos. Here's the Budget Diva spreadsheet. Here's how you do a budget. Go do it.
Yeah. So you're doing that's another thing we teach is your first 20 members you treat like one-on-one clients, and like you're meeting with them, talking to them, and not only answering their questions, but you're getting information from them on where they're confused, what's not working, what you need to add to the blueprint or whatever.
Yes. And it was so amazing because one member, when she looked at her student loan statement, she's like, I'm going to be debt free by July 2023. That's a long time. When we did her numbers, we put everything in her budget. If she doesn't change a penny, she just sticks to what she's doing right now, she's going to be debt free by July 2022. That's shaving a whole year off her regular plan.
Yeah, and
And
that's going to
then,
change her life because she's going to be. And
yes,
she would have. She would have convinced herself alone that she would have been in debt for another year. But because she had you, and because she had mentorship, and because she had leadership, she now knows the truth that she can get there quicker. That's pretty amazing. Like that's life changing. You just gave that person an extra year of
an
life.
extra year of their life.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's absolutely amazing. So how do you plan on now growing? Like, because that's the next step. Like when you launch a membership, everybody, this is common, but when you launch a membership, of course you want to serve your people. Of course you want to, but the real goal is to keep adding members. Like keep growing audience, keep adding members, keep growing on because you've got to get to critical mass. You've got to get to a place around 50 members when stability happens. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you'll get a bunch of people join, a bunch of people quit. It's like a heartbeat at the beginning. It goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. And getting to 50 members is your next goal, like because that stabilizes the membership. It gives you a good chunk of revenue. So like where are you at with growth? Are you just going to stick with the webinar? Are you going to stick with the podcast? Are you stuck anywhere right now?
That I don't know. I do want to do webinars. My fear is that I'll keep launching webinars every couple of weeks and nobody will show up.
Yeah.
So I really need help on where else can I grow my email list? Where else can I get the word out?
Well, I mean, you're a podcaster, so I always tell podcasters to go guest on other podcasts. So you've got to put in, like, we're working on a course right now for this too inside the community because Jocelyn has developed the system that we use to get me on shows. So like, we're trying to get that package together where we can hand it off to everybody in the community. But it's really good to network and connect. Like I would definitely try to go to a couple conferences as the world opens back up. Like there's a really good one called FinCon, which is where all the financial bloggers, all the financial podcasters go. It's in August of this year, I think. But like I would go to places like that have high concentration of bloggers and podcasters where you can get in there 2 or 3 days, all in one, meet as many people as you can and make these connections and start helping each other. Like you can do podcast swaps where you're in front of their audience, they're in front of your audience. You can get featured on people's blogs. You can get link backs from their sites. But it's really important now that you inject yourself into the financial blogger, podcaster community, because that's where growth comes from. It comes from building a network, activating the network. So like people will have you on their shows. You can have them on their shows, build these relationships, become known in the space as an expert. You know what I'm saying? And that's a great way to grow your audience. And then ads. I mean, I don't think I would go ads to the webinar. Like I see a lot of people still trying that, but we've not had a lot of success at it. And I don't know many people that don't sell anything that's like hyper expensive, like $5,000 products, you know? So like, I would just focus on opt-ins. Like, you know, you can target people who like Dave Ramsey, target people who like other big financial budget people like Susie Orman, people like that you can target on Facebook. Nothing fancy, just, hey, here's my free, 5-minute budget worksheet. You make something that takes 5 minutes to fill out, gives them an idea, or like a little calculator, like how to get out of debt. You can build little calculators in Typeform. And like that,
Okay.
whatever you just taught that girl, how you showed her that she only added about a year to get out of debt. I bet it was just some numbers that you added up or whatever, or divided. You could probably build a little calculator like how to get out of debt in 2 years. And it's just like math at that point on the back of it. But even if it's just a worksheet, like a PDF, use that to grow your list, use your list to sell into the webinars. So it's like, imagine if you had a Facebook ad going for $20 a day. And all it was my 5-minute budget toolkit, how to set a budget up in 5 minutes. And you just come up with this little worksheet. Then as people get on your list, you invite them to the webinar on Sundays. I'm going to show you how to use a full-time budget or whatever you do on your webinar. And at that point, you sell your membership. That's probably the way I would go. And I would just be really, really diligent about doing it every single day. Every single day. Yeah. Victory loves diligence. I love that quote. Like, just figure out what you can diligently do every day. Like, what do I do every day, Jennifer? You know this. I podcast and I send emails every single day. And just pick the thing that you want to do and do it every single day. And it's going to grow. But you got to your goal is to add members every week. Like you can't go a week without a member. You got to figure out how am I going to
Okay.
Like call the lady from the dinner party tonight and say, join the membership. You're number 3, right? And see if they'll join the membership.
Okay.
Does that feel, how does that feel? Does that feel overwhelming?
No, that feels good because actually that was what I was going to do. I was going to do an ad to the webinar. And so I like it better of just an ad to an opt-in and then
just get them on the list
to a webinar.
Yeah, I think that works better. It's just like build your list. That's the asset, right? You can get people to sign up for a webinar and they're on your list then, but are they really coming? It's just so much easier to get people to sign up from the actual list, and it's so simple to set up a 5-minute ad that just goes out. People overcomplicate everything. Like you get on list. My favorite thing about Jennifer is this. When Jennifer comes to member calls, all right, like it was funny, this progression of 100 questions. Slow down, Jennifer. Let's pull you back in here. You don't even have a domain name yet and you're building websites. And then like about a week ago, I was like, Jennifer, you got a question? And you're like, no, I think I'm good. And I'm like, yes, we have her. That is the purpose of the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint. We have arrived. Well, listen, Jennifer, thank you so much for coming and telling your story today. You are just getting started. I am so proud of you for all the work that you have put into this website. And I'm inspired by your mission and your passion for helping other families get out of debt like you guys did and having a better quality of life living on a budget. So tell everybody real quick where they can go and find you if they wanted to reach out to you. Say, I bet you there's some people out there right now listening that would say, I wish I had a budget and I'd like to meet this Jennifer lady. So how can everybody contact you and tell them your domain name?
You can find me at budgetdivas.com.
All right, y'all, that wraps up my coaching session with Jennifer Trinidad. Man, it was awesome to celebrate that amazing win. Just to see Jennifer go from absolutely nothing, not even a concept of how to even put everything together, not even really understanding the right questions to ask. And just a few months later, launching a membership site, getting her first members, becoming an active podcaster, and watching her plan out the future of the Budget Divas community. That's what gets me excited. That's what gets me passionate. That's what fires me up. And that's what makes me proud to be the leader of the Flipped Lifestyle community. We see stories like Jennifer's every single day happening in the community. People starting, building, launching, and growing a successful online business that not only is going to give them a chance to change their family's future, but to pick up their stone, cast it out upon the waters, and cause many ripples, impacting people all over the world. That's what we want for you. If you have an online dream, if you've got an idea, if you've got a mission, if you've got a passion that you want to turn into an online business, there is no better way to do that than with a membership site and inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. Inside the Flipped Lifestyle community, we will help you find and use your God-given talents, experiences, wisdom to start, build, and grow an online business of your own. We've helped thousands of family-focused entrepreneurs from around the world start, build, and grow membership businesses. And we're confident we can help you do the same. All you have to do if you want to try our program out is go get your 30-day free trial over at flippedlifestyle.com/free. Unlike other gurus out there charging $3,000 just for the privilege of watching their courses, we let everybody try our program for free for their first 30 days. You'll get instant access to the Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint. You can go take the same courses Jennifer did to start her online business journey. We're going to show you how to find your idea. We're going to show you how to turn that into a product. We're going to teach you how to launch your membership, how to grow your membership. We got tons of courses about marketing and sales and everything that you need to be successful online. It is our mission to help as many families as possible start, build, and grow online incomes of their own so they can spend more time with their kids, spend more time with each other, and change their family's future forever. That's flippedlifestyle.com/free. Go start your 30-day free trial today. All right, guys, that's all the time that we have for today. Before we go, I want to leave you with a Bible verse. My wife, Jocelyn, and I get a lot of inspiration and motivation in business and in life from the Bible. And we love to close every episode of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast with a verse. Today's Bible verse comes from Proverbs chapter 14, verse 23. The Bible says, "In all work there is profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty." I hear so many people talking about their online dream. I hear so many people talking about a better future. I hear so many people talking about what they want to do instead of actually doing that thing. Listen, Jennifer launched her membership. Jennifer got her first members, and Jennifer will be successful. Jennifer is finding her profit because she put in the work. She took that idea out of her head. She let it pass through her lips and her fingertips, and she went to work to build the thing and put it in front of a customer so that they could pay her that monthly membership. And that's what you have to do too. Let's be real. You can listen to the Flipped Lifestyle podcast every day for the next 5 years. You can get inspired and motivated by amazing stories like Jennifer's today. But until you do something, until you go to flippedlifestyle.com, until you click that big button, until you join the community and start building your membership, start creating your content, you have no chance to reap the reward. You have to do things. You have to go out and make them happen. And if you put in the work, that's what will allow great things to happen in your life and in your family's future. Thank you so much again for listening to the podcast this week, guys. I can't wait to see you again. Until next time, get out there, take action, do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Yeah.
I just had coffee, so I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have had coffee before this podcast. Now my voice is going to be like, ah.
I'm about 3 cups in. I have a humidifier that sits right beside me, though, to counteract the coffee. That's what I do. I just ate like a giant cheeseburger and french fries, too. So I'm like sucking down coffee to counteract the after lunch fall asleep. Because Jocelyn and I didn't want to go inside anywhere today because we were both in sweatpants. So we just went to this drive-in greasy spoon and like ate 4,000 calories of horrible, horrific food. So
That's a weird combination, though, like french fries and cheeseburger and then coffee.
I know. Well, I drank water and stuff, and I waited like 15 minutes, and I'm just like downing the coffee.
Not even like Coca-Cola or anything. Just coffee.
Just coffee, just straight caffeine into my. If I had an injection and just put it in my veins, I would do that right now.